check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
How's it going, guys? Electron Man. Well, we got a real jewel today. We're gonna try and resurrect this thing. It's an old President Dwight D. Haven't seen one in a long time. It's kind of a cool radio. It's just an AM radio, but it's got a clock and alarm clock and all that. But anyway, if you can't tell, she's really rough. I just plugged it in. So far, what I do know is that it does transmit on some of it, on part of it. Let me go ahead and turn it on. What we got is neither one of the light dials work. The clock does not seem to be turning. I don't even know if I even want to try and mess with getting that clock going, but we'll see. It does the it's 40 channel, and the LED does work, and it does transmit a whopping 1.5 watts. Well, about half the time it transmits like a 1.5 watts. It does have audio. On the expansion channels, when you go into the regular channels, it's got these two little switches here. It's got an inspection kit in it. Got nothing, no transmitter received, so we know something's wrong with the expansion kit already. This is going to be quite the little project. I don't know. I'm going to get in here and see what we can do. I don't know if the final's bad or if it's just a bad tune, but 1.5 watts isn't going to cut it. We can work on that. I don't think that'll be too bad. Maybe a new final. It might just be a tune. Hook up 12 volts, see if it could be the power supply. We can go through some tests on that to figure that out. But my big concerns is this expansion with no receive. And this is an interesting radio. It doesn't look like it has a speaker. I guess this must have came with an external speaker that's set to the side, because I've looked all around it and it doesn't have a speaker. I've hooked up my external speaker to make sure it does have audio, and it does have audio, obviously, with modulation, so we've got that far. But this thing's rough. I mean, rough. It's had its days, that's for sure. But let's see what we can do with it. That's going to be my project. We're going to see what we can do with this President Dwight D. Probably a 40-year-old radio that has not been baby or pampered. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the case open and see what we got on the inside. Okay, I got all the screws out of it. It ain't pretty, I can tell you that. Right here, I'm just going to show you. Look at that expansion. They just did a crystal expansion, which, I mean, that's kind of what your expansion kits are, but they have variable tuning capacitors, so you can tune and everything. This is definitely some low-end expansion. So I think my first plan of action is going to be I'm going to rip the expansion out. I'm going to get the air gun after it, blow it all out. For initial inspection of it, it looks like it's had the transformer replaced on it once. Not sure why that would have happened, but apparently that's had a meltdown on it. Yeah, this is going to be quite the deal. I notice I've got a couple of tuning slugs back here that don't even have the tuning core in them, so that might be part of the reason why the output's so low on it. Yeah, this is gonna be quite the little project, but I'll bring you along. Hopefully it'll bring some good video content, and we could just see how good we can get this back. I'm going to pull the suspension. I hate it's going to have a couple holes in the top lid, but I wouldn't keep that kit. I'd put an inspection kit in if I was going to do that. And honestly, I'm not really into the extended channels anyway. Most of your action on CB these days is in your regular 40 channels. Your lower bands, channel 6, etc., are good for AM, and then upper like 38 for sideband. And this doesn't have sideband, so really, I don't really see a need for an expansion kit in it anyway. But we're going to go ahead and get tearing into this thing. Like I said, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that expansion kit out, and we're going to turn her back to stock. I'm going to put some loading coils in there and see what that does to start with. See if I can get it back to transmitting decent and not sporadic, and then we'll go in depth to see how far we can bring this thing back. Anyway, hopefully you'll enjoy this series. This is the first. Obviously, the lights need to be fixed. We need to see if we can get the clock going. Blah blah blah. This ought to keep us entertained for a while. Well, guys, it's been a couple days, and I pulled all the old stuff out. I've replaced. This is just about half the caps. Replaced both the finals. This has got me a real head scratcher. I was hoping to make like a part 2 of me restoring it and aligning it, and I'm going to kind of add this to part 1, I think. But basically, all the replacement stuff I've had, I started out, it had real low transmit power. Everything else seemed to work fine. Receive the clock doesn't work, but that's beside the point. But I just had like 1.5 watts output, and of course I tried tuning on it first to see if that would do it, and that was it. And so then I thought, well, it was a weak final, so I put a new final in it. It actually went down to about 1 watt after I put a new final in. It actually dropped in power. And then the more I tweaked on it, it got down to where it was like 0.5 watt. So then I did the pre-driver final, replaced it, and it was about 0.5 watt, tweaked some more, and now we're down to about 1/4 watt that it's transmitting. So I've replaced all these caps, finals. I've got the alignment procedures for it, and I have the schematics, but this has got me totally scratching my head. The more I work on it, the less power output it has. I mean, I'm down to it's 0.5 watt, maybe 1/4 watt now. It's just barely transmitting anything output at all. So the more I replace, it seems like the less output I get. And this is a real hard one. A lot of times I'll inject signal into them, and I can trace the signal back to where the signal doesn't pass through, like a no receiver or something. It's a lot easier. Well, this is on the transmit side. The receive works. I mean, the radio functions fine, other than it just has low output. And the more I try to get the output to where it should be, the more problems I run into. So anyway, my stopping point now is I'm going to go ahead and I don't do this very often, but I did find one on eBay for I think about $15 delivered. But I'm going to get a Sam's Photofax, and hopefully the Sam's Photofax can help me, because I'm just not getting it. I can't signal trace it. I've checked what voltage is on the schematic it showed as far as transistors. They show solid. I have ran all my research before I went and spent money on buying a Sam's Photofax, but hopefully that'll get me a better direction to point to. I kept thinking it's out of alignment, but I use, like I said, the alignment procedures, and it gets worse, not better. So there's obviously something on here that is that's blocking the RF on the it's some type of preamp on it, and hopefully Sam's Photofax will give me a little more in-depth description of the board and where I need to go. But anyway, I just this has kind of got me whooped. I've got about 2-3 days in it. I've replaced a bunch of caps, and I've tested transistors, blah blah blah. It just, like I said, it just seems like I'm digging a hole. I'm not coming out the other side. So when I get the Sam's Photofax, we'll get back on it. Because right now it ain't happening. This happens. I ain't quitting though. Usually these are the ones that I get stubborn on, and I usually learn a lot from these. In the end, I'll learn a lot from this, and I see it again, I'll know what direction to go. But anyway, hopefully you like these videos I put up on the repairs of these CB radios. If you do, give me a thumbs up, and have a great day. This is Electron Man.